Anyone who is looking for a job in 2025 knows that it is as difficult as it has ever been in recent history to secure a new job offer. These same people know that it is often just as difficult to even get interviewed for a role that you want. For thousands, perhaps millions of job seekers stuck in this market, it's practically a cruel joke at this point. You scour all the big job boards and you search for any type of role that you might even be slightly qualified for. This week, this month, before you know it, you have submitted your resume to hundreds, if not thousands, of potential jobs, hoping that you will be the person that they'll select. You're hoping that you will be the person, the chosen one, to get the Holy Grail, an interview with the company. Forget the final on-site or panel stage. You just want one interview, a chance to talk with them just that one time. But like many others searching for a job, this interview just is not happening for you. And it feels like a punch in the gut when you click submit what seems like a million times, only to get a rejection note, or even worse, just hearing absolutely nothing from anyone. When I secured my most recent job, I was in this horrible market too. And believe me, I know how isolating, how embarrassing, and how twisted it feels to not be able to get an opportunity to have what seems like a simple conversation after trying everything and getting nowhere from your efforts. The worst part about all of this is that tons of people think that because their efforts have not paid off, they are doomed and will not be able to get a job until the market gets better. That's what I'm here today to show you is actually not true. Despite what reasonably appears to be a situation you can't get out of, more times than not, there's just something you're doing wrong or failing to do that is holding you back from getting that interview that you want. And believe me, I'm not blaming anyone who is not aware of some or all of what I am about to share with you. It is hard to get a job, and nobody teaches you these skills that are needed but barely known by most people. Let's just start right away with the number one reason most people, in most cases, are not getting interviews. If you have one single copy of your resume and you are using it to apply for many roles, you have already lost. Think for a second if you are someone whose responsibility it is to hire a candidate for a new role. In this market, hiring teams are getting absolutely swamped with more resumes than they can ever go through with a fine-tooth comb. Most resumes are, well, average. But in that huge pile of resumes, there are just a few that have every skill mentioned in the job description. In an employer's market like this one, there is no need to even consider resumes that aren't perfectly a fit for the role. Why am I saying all of this? Basically, if you, the candidate, are giving the same resume to every role, there is absolutely no way possible that your resume can be perfectly tailored to all of these different roles. When you apply to a role, in order to get an interview, the copy of your resume you submit has to be so perfectly tailored to the job description that it feels to you as if your bullet points essentially copy the job description. Now, in this market, you are better off laser tailoring your resume to a few different roles you actually want than submitting what has to be an imperfect resume to hundreds of roles. It's a waste of the hiring team's time, and more importantly, it's a waste of your time. Let's talk about the second reason most people that do not get interviews aren't getting them. Job seekers, on average, are either afraid to talk with people in their network about wanting a new role, or they are afraid to give a gentle push to stakeholders in hiring when it is necessary to do so. Here's a simple example. Let's say you send an application to your dream job and you hear nothing back for 3 days, then 4 days, then a week. When these events happen, most people just complain that they haven't ever heard back and move on to applying to more jobs. But there is actually more you can do than just complain. If there's a job that I really want that I have not heard back from, I always, without fail, find some stakeholder on LinkedIn and say, "Hi, person. I wanted to let you know I applied to this role at this company because I can bring these skills to the table. If you or anyone you know can take a look at my application, I would greatly appreciate it. Have a wonderful day." See what I did there? Instead of complaining about something I could not control, I followed up. Now, even after this, you still might not hear back, but at least you've done all you could. And many times this measure does actually work well, and someone actually will follow up with you. I know what you might be thinking. The application portal is a system, and you should hear back. I agree with you, but sometimes the system just doesn't work the way you want, and you need to take things into your own hands. Yet another reason you are not getting interviews is because you are not considering reaching out to hiring teams or talent acquisition professionals you were in contact with in prior job searches. Funny story, I actually got my most recent job by reaching out to a hiring professional whose role I turned down an offer for a couple of years prior. A lot of people would think there would be negative feelings there, but I kept cordial and positive and expressed my gratitude for the interview process as well as for the team. So then when I reached back out, there was a role open, not advertised in public, but it was available to me because I took the simple step of reaching back out. If you have not tried this, it's worth a shot. The worst that can happen is that you're no better off than where you started. But if you're respectful, you'll never be worse off. I think for this video, I've given several reasons, many not widely known, about why candidates are struggling to get interviews. If there is a new technique that works for you when you use it, let me know in the comments. If you like this kind of content, please subscribe for more. See you next time.